Welcome back to the Independence Stadium here, where the four-club pre-season tournament is taking place, hosted by African Stars. Now, African Stars are finally playing. That is Petro de Luanda. I am still not alone. I am here with Milton ASAP. Milton, I must say it's Namibia versus Angola again. What do you think?
We should break the voodoo. It's again Angola versus Namibia. This time it's clubs. Mentally, I mean, the national team has been struggling, beating Angola, even with 10 men. But listen, African Stars setting a standard in this country. The supporters are also coming up. You can see there's some sort of vibe here going around.
Absolutely. Well, it's champion versus champion. To be the difference maker today between these two clubs?
Well, Petro de Luanda, they look very strong. They look physically again strong. That has been always the case for the Angolan teams. But again, Stalile as well. It's home ground advantage. The conditions plays in their favor. So I think, yeah, let's see. Stalile with Awilo not here, and Chaikika not here.
Yeah.
Let's see, maybe some new faces.
Yeah, speaking on Stars, I'm sure that we do know that they did lose some of their few players, but they did also gain new players. Edma Kamatuka coming in back there. What do you think of that?
Yeah, indeed. So we always say one man's loss is another man's gain.
Yeah.
So I think let's see. I think it's one of those games where we all are excited about to see what's happening with African Stars, new players, maybe new dispensation. It's also going to be the first full season for the coach. He is having his pre-season. He probably did what he must do in terms of the setting up of the players. So it's exciting times. Let's see what's happening.
Well, what are predictions for the game?
I hope in Stars' favor, 2-1.
2-1.
Yes.
That is first half?
2-1 in full time. So first half, perhaps 1-0 the lead.
All right, so there you had it from Milton giving his predictions. So now we cross over to the commentary, where Chester Wamunika and Edison Muhewa are on standby.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Milton. This might be a pre-season friendly, but make no mistake, these two clubs will measure themselves at the continental stage. A draw that was not kind to the host African Stars. They are facing none other than Petro Atletico de Luanda, the Angolan giants. On paper, they look not only the favorites to win this match, but maybe the favorites to win the entire competition. Fresh from their preparations in Angola, Petro de Luanda arrived sharp and ready, while African Stars is in the transition phase and having released 8 players, brought in fresh signings. Their coach is provided with an opportunity now to test the combinations of the new players and his tactics. All the ingredients are here for a classic match at the Independence Stadium. I'm Chester Wamunika, your commentator for this match, and I'm joined by none other than the former African Stars winger, Edison Muhewa, who's ready to provide us with his expert insight. It sounds to be the very, very good game between Petro Atletico de Luanda and African Stars here.
You've absolutely nailed it there, Chester, in terms of the intro, because you would have expected, or you would have wanted or preferred this to be the final match, but the draw is the draw and you can't change this. I remember, Chester, having faced Petro Atletico, it was a little over 10 years ago when I was still active in my very last season in the CAF Confederations Cup. We beat them here 2-0, but in Angola they turned things around. So there's a little bit of history there. And yes, absolutely, you expect a phenomenal match here, nothing else really.
There you have it, Edison Muhewa. have tasted playing against the Angolan giants, Petro Atletico de Luanda. Now, something that Milton and Vicky Karonda have touched on, it is the players that have left African Stars, and it's mostly in the offensive part of the game. Ibrahim Jusuf, Willis Stefanes, and also Bakonja Shahikika. Those were the vital player for African Stars going forward. They where the goals came from, and they have to adjust to a new partnership going forward. African Stars. How much is of a bigger task that for a coach?
Look, it's a phenomenal task. If you take the goals contribution between the three players that you've just mentioned now, that it is a phenomenal task for anybody that's going to step in. But in my opinion, they've nailed it on in terms of the signings that they've brought on, who's Kamatuka, who's rejoining the team. And then also probably the most exciting number 10 we have on Namibian soil right now, Lawrence Doeseb. They'll be taking this, I think, like a duck to water. You expect them to really, because I mean they know Namibian football quite well. It will be interesting to see how they'll adjust to the African adventure. But I think in terms of replacements, they've nailed it on the African Stars. It will be interesting as well to see how they'll navigate that number 9 role. At the moment, we know that Marcelinho is given the stead, but will he be the one who's given that mental going into the African continent? We'll have to see.
And the two teams are out. African Stars in their familiar red and white, and Petro Atletico de Luanda will be in blue and yellow. And the two teams ready to get the game underway. As I said, Petro Atletico de Luanda have already started with their preparations. But we will pause here and get the two national anthem before we continue with commentary here.
Can we all rise? Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of Namibia. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm going to give you guys a starting 11. Starting first with Petro de Luanda, all the way from Angola. Jersey number 1, Hugo. Jersey number 24, Kinito. Jersey number 4, Ruben.
And everything is set for the game to start here at the Independence Stadium. The champions of the Republic of Namibia and the champions of Angola are about to get underway here. And African Stars have really some refreshment in the lineup. And Mervyn Kasetura starting in goal. And we will have Tebak Malane, Charles Hambira, Vita Pingaruka, and Patrick Mochoaneng as the back four. In the middle of the park, African Stars will have Ronald Kashiere and Penda Mugudi in the middle of the park. More defensively, attacking is Edba Kamatuka, Lawrence Dwesep, Jackson Eliakim, and also George Marcelino, the man they have signed from Echoke, Shula. And moving on to the visitors, they have quite a well-experienced team with Hugo Marquez, and that is the African Stars lineup with Marcelino, George, being the only striker there, supported by Dwesep Eliakim and also Kamatuka. And as we go to the visitors, you have Huko in the goal, and also at the back you have Hosi, Kanito, Rupen, and Anderson will be the back four. And also you have Jairo, Taro, and Pereira in the middle of the park with Joe, Jigal, and Wilson in the attack for the Petro Athletic de Luanda. Not a team that many people knows, but it's a well-experienced team, and a team that is also going to compete in the CAF Champions League. So it's a test here for African Stars. It's
the type of test that you want going into the continent, Chester. And if you look at the team list in terms of composition, Petro de Luanda, it has 3 continents represented, players from Portugal, Europe, players from Brazil and South America, and then obviously the bulk of the team being made up of Angolans. So this is the type of pedigree that you want as an African Stars team that's really trying to crack the nut on the continent. But the Stars lineup, quite a number of players that you won't say they're on trial here, but they'll certainly want to make sure that they give the coaches something to think about, and this is an opportunity for them.
Big opportunity. Here will face Dioti in the final tomorrow, as they have progressed in the semi-finals on penalties. So African Stars will want to be the winners to meet Dioti in the final. But we are underway here at the Independence Stadium, and it is Malane with a first defensive header, helped by Kamatuka, who got that out of play, and it will be a throw-in early on to the visitors. A throw-in, it's a deep one, as the team from Angola looking to get an early cross. Kamatuka been fouled, and is going to be a free kick to African Stars.
For all his nifty work off the ball and on the ball, Kamatuka is very reliable off the ball as well, because he's quite an aggressive player for his physique.
A lovely one down the left-hand side now. African Stars try to put it in the box, well defended, but a good start for African Stars as they try to knock it around in the middle of the park there, taking control, but now position cheaply given away. Quito, Wilson dispossessed now. Joseph all the way back to Hambira as African Stars try to dominate early possession here. Kashere. Karuka all the way back to Hambira. Try to get the crowd already on their side here. Garuka. Selenu position given away cheaply now. Now Anderson. Back to the back for Ruben now. Find back to Anderson. They want to draw African style. Kamatuka. Very ambitious there from Edma Kamatuka. Position cheaply given away by Anderson. And Kamatuka tries the shot at goal. But wide.
Yeah, no, he does have that in his locker, Edma Kamatuka. You can expect that from him, and that just goes to show maybe he's not a player who's lacking in confidence, knowing that he was across the border last season, didn't get a lot of game time, I'm sure, by his own admittance. But that is just perhaps a show of things to come.
Now it is De Luanda out of play from Pereira. Will be a throw into De Luanda, and quick throw again. Here is Jonathan Toro. Toro again, lovely take from the air, and now it's a chance for Atletico de Luanda to try and test. Keigi puts it inside. And very far from Chario, couldn't get it. Now Malane for African Star, the men from Lesotho. We would love to get African Stars to the final and play against Dioti, team from his country.
I'm sure he'll have enjoyed the off-field conversation with his quite a lot of his colleagues and former teammates, I'm sure, in Lioli. Also a little bit of local vernacular. When you're in a foreign country, you always appreciate being able to speak your local language.
Some of them still teammates in the Lesotho national team.
Yes.
Flick on. And that will be a goal kick. Not well calculated by Pereira. Will be Kasetura will be much relieved goalkeeper Kasetura, since Lloyd Kalapwa have left again for greener pastures. Kalapwa was bound to be back with African Stars. That could have been Kasetura will have to be playing a second fiddle to Kalapwa. Now De Luanda. Position given away now. Marcelino. It's a lovely ball here for African Stars, but not well calculated pass there to find one of the new signings at the left back, Patrick Mochwaneng, man from South Africa, playing his straights for African Stars here. Here's now Duesep, lovely one now. It's a chance here for African Stars. Shots, and now, oh, that went over the bar, and it's lovely there. It is Penta Mukuzi who has that one traveling the moment it left his boot, but just over the bar.
Fantastic approach play from African Stars. They've pinned Pedro back in their own half here. Brilliant play from the number 10, Lawrence Duesep, as you would expect. He finds his teammate and also a former teammate at Chula Chula in Eliakim Jackson, one of the most exciting signings as well. You expect Eliakim Jackson to just get that shot perhaps much quicker away, but then it falls to Penda, and his drilled shot is quite high over the bar.
Lovely flick on from Toro. There came with the Marcelino rather, with a foul.
Talking of Eliakim Jackson, I think he's the man who's expected to replace the man from Comoros. But I think for all his industrious work on the wing, he just needs to find the numbers. Eliakim is quite good one-on-ones, very good, exciting winger, but his goals and assist contributions, which is often what wingers are counted on these days, or based on, but he just needs to work on those, and that's perhaps a good line yet there.
Very much so. He needs to get more assists, more goals. Eliakim Jackson, very good, promising player. And with African Stars, this is playing in the CAF Champions League. This is the biggest stage at club football. And you need to perform here.
Stop, Ruben!
Lovely play from Ugudi. Now, Mochwaneng. African Stars knocking it around pretty well. Very comfortable on the ball. Here is Zambira now. Garuka. Malane. Oh, lovely. Here's Kamatuka. The notch in the back.
Yeah, it will remain to be seen how that Penda Mohudi and Ronald Keshiere midfield combination will pan out, especially in Africa. But I can tell you, in the local league, that will be formidable without a shadow of doubt.
African Stars force all the way back. Good pressing from De Luanda. Atletico De Luanda. Lovely one there. Take off, that is Marcelino, and it will be a free kick for him. Free kick was for offside. Keshere nearly hang up his boots. Quested for one more season. Here's Malane now. He have two in the box. He cuts back now. Kamatuka should have taken first time, and it will be a free kick against Edma Kamatuka.
I really am not sure what that free kick is for. Edma probably should have pulled the trigger earlier. Nice approach play again. Malane on this right hand side lays it off, looks for the third man who's coming in. Perhaps just looking for the foot there, Edma, but the defender outsmarted.
It's a very good start for the host at this stage. African Stars looking pretty good. Jigal all the way back to big defender. Oh, lovely 10 from the young man, 16 years old. That is Jario. Kasetura. Oh, lovely taken by Dwesep. Trying to link up with Edma Kamatuka. And trying to find the combinations already. Lawrence Dwesep, Edma Kamatuka might not have played together, but with Marcelino and also Jackson Eliakim, Dwesep should find comfort there, because they all came from the same team as Shoke Chula in terms of combination.
No, absolutely. He'll be very comfortable in there. Lawrence Dwesep, a player who can operate in those tight spaces, as we have seen just there. Quite a silky operator on the ball. But do you know what? For all that, Chester, I'm sure there's nobody in this African Stars team who will be happy to see Lawrence Dwesep on his side more than Stiga Keshiere. those were epic battles between Stiga and Lawrence Dwesep.
Very much so. Here's Jario now. Finds Anderson. Good moving now for out of play. Not the best there from Jagal. Couldn't keep that in play. Rupen with the header now. Here is Van Nielsen. And it will be a throw into Petro de Luanda, and it is Anderson to get the throwing underway here. One of the experienced player, Anderson, 29 years. Free kick will be to African Stars.
Interesting tactical display so far from African Stars. They've on paper set up in a 4-2-3-1, but offensively you'll see Malane is pushing up quite high. They appear to be three at the back with Garuka Hambira and the new signing Thoseneng in a three-man defensive wall, and then Malane joining Keshiere and Mohuti, and then Eliakim on the one side operating as a wing back. So offensively Eliakim and Malane operating as wing backs in a 3-5-1-1 formation.
There you have it. If you did not quite understand how African Star is operating, and Jario back on his feet. That boy is 16 years old. Jario in your picture. Midfielder. Free kick will be taken. Yuko Marquez, experienced 39-year-old goalkeeper. Here is Lawrence Dwesep. Well checked by Pereira. Mixed with experience and young players in his Petro de Luanda. Pereira, 27, have been around for the team. And now, here is Anderson pushing forward. Now, George Marcelino, not really well settled. George, not a good start to the game. Already in the referee's crime book and barely touched the ball positively. Dwesep now. Twist and turning, looking for support now. Can African Stars find something? Chwaneng. Keshiere. Here is Mugudi. Well taken by Malane, and early cross. That's no one at the far post there.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed by that. Tabang Malane, usually a reliable source for deliveries on that right-hand side, just overhit that. In fact, probably mishit it as well.
Header by Garuka. Win the second one. Keshiere now. Kamatuka, Mugudi. Here is Malane. African Stars dominating ball position in these early stages.
And there you just see that three-man defensive lineup for African Stars, with Chwaneng there operating more on the left-hand side, but more centrally.
Out of play, and it will be a throw-in for African Stars. Kashere. And now Luanda get the position with Pereira. It will be a free kick. Gigal, and the man who's going to take that is Jonathan Doro. So experienced Doro to deliver here. Have numbers on the edge of the box. Jonathan Doro to deliver. Lovely ball, headed away by Hambira, Malane, and Edma Kamatuka, and it's offside, says the assistant referee. Well positioned for that.
Yeah, that's asking a lot of Tabang Malane from Kamatuka. I think he's just mistouched it.
Ruben for De Luanda now. Big fella, Ruben, headed away. And it will be a throw-in. We haven't seen really Petro de Luanda sharpening African Stars defensively. They have been very comfortable playing in their own half now. Anderson with the first cross, and Hambira under pressure. Concede a corner kick.
Chester, I was just about to say typical African teams, Petro will normally play off set pieces, and you will see here, and then those whippings from out wide. They're teams that play in moments. They won't necessarily be much worried about dominating position.
It's a lovely ball and a good hand there. Confident from Kasetura, but Petro will come back at them again. It's the big defender, but clearance now. Can African Stars go on counter? Lawrence Dwesep been hauled and pulled, and that should be a yellow card. Yes, it is, and it goes to Jigal.
It's rightfully a yellow card, Chester, but it's a yellow card that as a defensive player you'll be happy to take every day, because African Stars was in a transition there, and they had the numbers up front, and I was actually surprised how Lawrence looked happy to take that foul. The Petro de Luanda defense knew exactly what he did there, or what he was doing.
Very much African Stars could have pushed numbers. Petro de Luanda were out of positions. The defenders went up for the corner. It's a free kick for Jario. 16-year-old midfielder. Has been getting a lot of attention from the African Stars. Big guys in the middle of the park there. Pereira out by Eliakim. Joseph Eliakim for Stars now. Lovely work there, and only winning a throw-in. Well defended by Hossi. Kashere. Ngudi. Simply given away. But out of play, and it will be a throw-in.
Kashere donning an unfamiliar number 26, normally operating in the number 8 jersey. The man who many of the supporters have deemed to have a cat's life. 9 of that. Retires and come back.
That was a lovely defensive header from Ruben, because Josh Marcelino was lacking. Now it's a chance for Petro to counter, but Van Nielsen couldn't really control that. But here he has again Van Nielsen for Petro de Luanda. The best of the passes again, but well recovered by Pereira. And now it's a lovely ball. Now Marcelino Godi took his time and position cheaply given away. At this stage you cannot afford to take that much time on the ball. Anderson all the way back to Kinito. And now it is the 18-year-old Jigal. Ruben Anderson, de Luanda knocking it around, and Anderson misunderstood Jario there.
I think they've just settled into the game now much better, Pedro. Toro and Pereira in the middle of the park, starting to string things together for them and starting to win those duels that often will be the difference between winning and losing in midfield.
It's a long one now. Malane went all the way. Looked like at one stage there like a centre forward running from the right wing back. Now he has to recover because Petro de Luanda is using same side to attack. Here is Toro. Lovely one. They have numbers now outside the box. Can they deliver? Jigal now. All the way back to Pereira. Lovely one. Horsey. Position given away cheaply. Dwesep. Keshere. Marcelino. Jackson. Joachim Jackson winning a free kick for African Stars. George Marcelino rather. There is Ambira. That's another waste. Two teams battling in the middle of the park. Nothing exciting going forward from both. Van Nielsen and Toro.
Has been pretty reserved so far. The man who wins the free kick, Chuluka Matuka, has quietly been adapting. We'll just have to wonder on how match fit he will be.
Flick on here for the shot. It was a sticking one from Hosi, but well comfortable for Kasetura. Well put Kinito into touch.
Yeah, he's been looking to try that all game giggle. Or is it Hosi? He's been on to that all game, trying to cut in on his favorite left foot and then unleashing.
That's a shot again. The shift one, that is Mugudi, who tried to get that one. Not much power. Technique missing there to get a volley or half volley on that. They have, these are the two teams that have dominated the league in their respective countries. Petro de Luanda won 4 consecutive seasons back-to-back. African Stars 3 consecutive seasons, league champions. And African Stars now will have to face the preliminary stages of the competition to see whether they can advance. They have failed to do so in their previous 2 attempts. Marcelino.
They are an unbelievable powerhouse back in Angola, Petro de Luanda. I mean, like I said earlier, I was very privileged to have been around their facilities, and that is what a professional setup looks like. Have teams like basketball teams, netball teams. It's an institution of sport rather than a football club, really, more than anything else. Buses and everything.
Godi all the way back to Ambira. And that's a foul against Benilson. The African Stars will be playing Viper Sports Club from Uganda in the first preliminary of the CAF Champions League. They have not yet decided whether they will play their home games in South Africa or in Botswana, since Namibia have no fit stadiums to host the CAF Champions League. But they're contemplating between hosting them in South Africa or Botswana. That decision will be made early next week. And Vipers from Uganda, not a very known team, but should be a team that African Stars will really fancy to proceed to the next round.
No, absolutely. I mean, and that's why this test against the likes of Pedro is quite key, because I'm sure in terms of ranking, African ranking, Pedro should rank higher than Vipers. So this is a good test for African Stars. They should not take this lightly.
Tuaneng now finds Eliakim Jackson. The delivery, no numbers in the box there for African Stars. Malane back to Garuka. Shere.
Always fascinated by a player who does that. Like, he could have actually stopped that ball and played at Anderson, but he opted for the throw-in, and that pins them right back in their corner.
The way back from Ambira. Garuka, lovely play to break the pressure, and as Makamatuka finds a Eliakim, the long ball there. Eliakim Jackson now try to take on Hossa, and as well Hossi there, his experience.
Absolutely brilliant defending from Hossi. One left one-on-one with Eliakim. He opted not to use the assistance and run from Lawrence Joseph. Was confident enough to take the right back on, but the right back coming up tops.
Hossi, well experienced, just getting 6 cap for the Angolan national team, getting his way into the national team now. Hossi down that right back. Here is Jario now. Jario looking for Willinson. Try to get back there. Well defended by African Stars. George Marcelino.
I think the free kick has been given to African Stars. He'll feel a bit better about that now. Marcelino, I think he's had a very tough introduction to life at African Stars so far. It's actually a throw-in in favor of African Stars rather than a free kick.
Quick taken. Matuka. It's out of play.
Let's go, let's race.
As we see there, a shot of the supporters there. There's a pretty silent stance. The Katherandu folklore, I mean, I'm sure they understand the assignment here is more an assessment really, rather than the true asset test.
Pereira.
They'll definitely want to hope that their team progresses to the final of this competition.
It's a lovely ball from Pereira and easy down the throat of Kasetura. Nothing to trouble him there. And none of the two teams really have given each other problems in terms of goalmouth incidents. Game has been played more in the middle of the park. Haven't seen a lot from George Marcelino, Eliakim Jackson, Kamatuka or Lawrence Dwesep affecting the game.
Yeah, I think it's also important to note, Chester, this is the first game after off-season for African Stars, or rather pre-season for African Stars. So there'll be a lot of tired legs, perhaps people still trying to get back to their best. I don't think that they've just hit peak in terms of physicality just as yet, any of the players. So it's more a matter of management, but this is what this type of games are for.
Ben Nielsen finds Toro. Toro tries to go back in. Ben Nielsen puts it in there. African Stars need to clear. Lawrence does well, finds Eliakim Jackson. Hold it back.
That's where the Angolan teams and teams playing in African football are quite tough at. It's those type of scenarios, out wide, putting it in, and then numbers in the middle, and they'll normally have a good presence in the box. And true to that, you look at the size of Joe, the number 9 for Pedro, and that tells you everything.
It's a lovely ball, straight into the hands of Hugo. No problems there. Can anyone unlock the defense of the opponents here? Stars now. Well defended. Anderson.
Conduce.
Former Rio Ave player in Angola. Here is Toro. Well experienced player as well. Doro. Played straight in Portugal. Men on the ball. Most of his
He's really been very silky and easy on the eye. As Toro dictating matters from the field, from the middle of the park rather.
Also have Kane, some international cups for Honduras. That's Toro. As Portuguese, never played for Portugal, but went on to play for Honduras. as he have the citizenship of that country. He played 15 games for them, representing their country. So, well experienced midfielder Jonathan Toro, 28 years old, number 8 now on the ball.
Diagonal, diagonal.
Nielsen, back to him.
Diagonal, Rossi. Eso es.
It's a lovely one now, Hossi, with space and a shot from Hossi. A strong hand there from Kasetura. Danger not over. Here is Anderson. Anderson puts another one in there, and the shot comes in, side netting. That's better from Petro de Luanda, and it's the 16-year-old who tried to get that one. Jario, the midfielder.
It's really good technique. It wasn't an easy ball to strike so purely. Really dropping at an angle, almost acute to him. But all around good play from Atletico de Luanda, or Petro de Luanda rather.
Here is Hossi.
Few of the supporters enjoying the game here. Very silent affair so far.
That is by Chwaneng, and it will be another throw-in for De Luanda. Lovely 1-2, Hossi. Position cheaply given away, but Pereira gather it for De Luanda. Benilson. Here's Henderson again.
They've grown in leaps
Diagonal,
and bounds.
diagonal, diagonal.
Petro de Luanda. And you just have a feeling now over the last couple of minutes they are the more dominant side in terms of dictating matters here.
Lovely play from Ruben.
Diagonal.
Anderson. They're really dictating matters here. They are orchestrating the game. It's a lovely ball and a shot and a goal. Joe with an opener for Petro de Luanda. They have taken the lead, and it's the big striker, and that looked very. And Joe was at the right place at the right time to simply put it away, Edison.
Yeah, no, what a brilliant goal we called it, isn't it? To say that they've settled into the game. It's a fantastic move. I think it was somewhat upwards of 10 passes, team move. No chance at all for Kasetura in the African Stars goal. The striker right where he needs to be. And you felt that Hambira, I think he miscalculated or mistimed his position. And the moment it bit him, it was up to Joe. The goal was at his mercy, and of course you expect him to do exactly what he did. That is very punitive from him.
Was kept quiet for a very long time, Joe. But he came alive when it matters. And he showed, just when we said that Petro Atletico started Petro de Luanda. And a shot! So vertically there by Lawrence Dwesep. Couldn't get it on target. Former Chula Chula boy.
Yeah, you just and I think we did mention that this is the first game of pre-season for African Stars in in terms of proper preparation. You just have to wonder what the fitness levels are. And as the game progressed, I think they've looked like they wanted that halftime whistle more than anybody else. And they do look like they want that halftime whistle no more than anybody else, though.
Need to shuffle things here.
I think what will be interesting is, for the most part, this will probably be African Stars' best lineup. I would not think that's the case for Pedro, though. I think they still have an ace up their sleeve.
Definitely so. Mugodi, that's overcooked. Even Jackson couldn't keep it in play. And Mugodi has been marshaled to take over from Ronald Keshere in the heart of the African Star midfield. I think he's learning one or things or two from Keshere. That's the reason why Keshere really postponed his retirement, just to get Mugudi up to speed in playing in that position.
He's looked every bit at ease and at home. He's probably been one of the best players or the better players for African Stars, especially of the new signings. Lawrence just had a moment and then he's faded, but obviously a lot of that comes down to how the rest of the team is also playing. Moguti, they're on the ball and off the ball. I think I've been very impressed.
Van Nielsen cuts back inside, and here's Joe again, and Dario! Nearly a second before halftime, the African Stars defenders did enough to stop the goal. The second one.
Yeah, they did enough, Chester, but I'm not really convinced about how their defensive output so far. Really, just there. That's all well done to Kasetura there, who keeps his team in it. You just have the feeling that a second goal would really put matters to bed, especially in terms of how these teams are playing. So that's really good from Kasetura to have kept it, to have kept a Jauro on that occasion. And you just have a feeling perhaps it's more of a bad miss than a good save.
Could have been two. Headed away. Now. Oh, lovely take by Keshere. Now it's 4 against 4. Keshere tried to release early and couldn't get Kamatuka, but it's Lawrence Joseph not happy with the referee's decision.
I think it's actually soft too, but you could tell what Keshere was trying to do there. He spotted Edma Kamatuka and Marcelinho unmarked on this far side, so he opted against going the other route, as we see the replay there. Opted against going to Eliakim Jackson, and then that was really very easily done. I think it was there was nothing much, there was nothing in it there. That's why Joseph was really disappointed with the referee's decision there.
And here he is on the ball again. Back. Twaneng tries to clear, but position cheaply given away. Pereira, but it's a foul that goes to African Stars.
Sí, Jairo, sí.
Free kick will go to Petro de Luanda. And it's Ruben who is fouled, the big defender. 2 minutes, Edison, before half-time. Your take on the new signings of African Stars? The left back, Mutwaneng, Lawrence Dwesep, Eliakim Jackson and Josma Shilinu. What is your take of their performance in this first half?
Yeah, I think a lot of them will still need more time to prove themselves. I think Penda has done well so far of what's expected of him.
Oh, lovely defensive work there from Anderson. He needed to get to that. And Kamatuka shot the ball straight into the hands of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, to your question, Chester, I think that sums it up, isn't it? Edma opting to protect the ball. I think he slept there, but that just summed up perhaps not just the new signings, but the half for African Stars. It's been a little bit flat, it's been a little bit frustrating. I'm sure they want to come up with a more energized energy back into that second half.
And the big concern that will be for the coach Bob Faso, it is they have not really tested the goalkeeper of Petro de Luanda, that is Hugo Marquez, but the goal from Joe, it is the only goal of the half that separates the two sides. The big striker getting to the end of a very good pass there and give Petro de Luanda the lead. And the team look fit. They have really grew in that first half. Started a little bit slow. African Stars started the better side, but as the half goes on, Petro de Luanda really started to dominate the game, and they went on to score. Edison, what does the Angolans need to do in the second half?
I think they'll want to manage the game. They're normally brilliant at managing the games, African teams. I think what we've seen here, Chester, and a lot would have hoped, as we see the highlight there of the goal. Brilliant take from the striker, makes no mistake. And there again...
and what about the pass as well?
Brilliant pass. Look at the positioning there of Hambira. The moment that ball beat him, he knew. I think he knew more than anybody else. And obviously it's... they still need to get the combinations right, need to understand each other, especially the man who's come on at the left back position. But I think to your question, Chester, a lot of Namibians will have hoped that African Stars will right the wrongs, because we know at the national level what Angola has been doing to Namibia, and this is an opportunity for African Stars, but it doesn't look like it. And you just have a feeling as well that perhaps this was not the strongest outline by the lineup from the Angolan team. So I'm sure still a lot in store for African Stars team, and you'll wonder who they will need to turn to ensure that they remain alive in this tournament. After all, they are the hosts, and you would wonder that the hosts remain until the final game. It's very important for the excitement of the show, but even more so for the tournament.
So that's it for the first 45 minutes at the Independence Stadium. It is Petro de Luanda leading this one by 1-0 scored by Jao. We will be back in a few minutes with the action of the second half, which will be the final half of the match. Welcome back to the Independent Stadium. Petro Atletico de Luanda up against African Stars, and there will be a host of changes to be made by both teams. That is expected. As pre-season, you want to give all players a chance, and Petro de Luanda have actually done well in this competition. They have reached the semi-final in the 2021-22 season, and also second round in 2023-2024, and they lost in the quarterfinals to TP Mazembe. They drew goalless and then went to lose in DRC by 2-1, and they lost in the quarterfinals of that competition. So it's a team that really progressed, does well in the CAF Champions League, and hence, like Edison said, the test African Star need to test themselves against the likes of Petro de Luanda if they are to proceed in this competition.
I think what's important, Chester, is that the number of appearances that they have made. I mean, especially for a club that like African Stars, that's trying to venture into Africa of late. You're not going to hit once and then you think you struggled. There's gonna be a lot of lessons that are gonna be taken along the way, and I'm sure they'll have taken those on board from last season and a couple of times that they've tried so far. But you look at Petro de Luanda, and that tells you everything in terms of semi-finals 2021. But that's their best, and they have gone on a number of occasions already.
And we are underway with the second half as African Stars looking to get an equalizer early on, and some of the changes Gilberto introduced already on the ball there, but throw in, and that will be a goal kick to de Luanda. Petro de Luanda leading this one by a 2-0, scored by Joe, also known as Gelinho, the striker. Easy tapping in the end there for the Angolans.
Arriba! Vamos!
Mugudi all the way back. Lovely 10 in the middle of the park there. The Luanda now, chance here. Ferreira back to the goalkeeper. Eddie turns that around. Here's Jario. Lovely from Keshiere. And Lawrence Duesep fouled. And it will be a free kick to African Stars. Have no trouble, the Petro de Luanda goalkeeper. Kamatuka. Turning back to the goalkeeper, and that turned out to be a very good ball for Eliakim, who failed to keep it in play.
Yeah, he looks a little bit sluggish. Eliakim, really slow off the marks there. That was actually a good ball behind the defense from the goalkeeper.
Eddie, one of the changes made in the second half. Joao with the header, and it's a lovely one here. It is Gilberto. Got to the end of that.
Talking of the changes, African Stars returning with the same personnel, but there appears to be a couple of tweaks tactically. Looks like they're back to a flat 4. And then Charles Hamida, who perhaps one could say was at fault for that goal in terms of positioning. He's moved closer to Huaneng on this side. So he's operating from the central left defensive side. And then Garuka from the other side. And then looks like Malane will also be operating as a natural left, right back rather. And that pushes Eliakim Jackson a little bit up more.
Eddie will get a throw in here for Petro de Luanda. Now, what can they do? It's Penda, cuts it back inside. Oh, that was a vital touch from Vitapi Garuka. He can afford a smile now.
Yeah, yeah, it was a seriously devilish ball into the mix. You never want to be in that position as a defender facing your own goal, and he finds the funny side of it, Garuka.
Now it is a corner kick. Toro takes, it's a lovely ball, and good hands from Kasetura. That gives the defenders confidence. If your goalkeeper comes out and claims aerial balls like that.
¡Más arriba!
Now, George Marcelino. Here is Malane.
You can understand why Malane would not whip that ball in, because Marcelinho, who is normally sole target in the middle of the attack for Stars, he's the one who made the right channel run, and he gave him the ball. So there was really not much options to aim it in the middle of the attack or in central striking positions. Of course, Chulu made the run forward, but he's not one that you'd bet on winning a header, especially against the physicality that the Angolan team possesses.
Here's João. Toro, oh, lovely one. And now Luanda looking to the big clearance from Garuka.
Yeah, that's a good recovery, but again, Pedro de Luanda using that channel very, very well. It's where the goal came from, the left channel. And again, they look to find the source from that side.
Malane. Kashiere. Toro intercept. And now João give it away. And now here is Lawrence Dorset couldn't find Jackson. Garuka. Move it upwards there. And a good clearance again from Gilberto.
Definitely not what he intended, Kasetura.
Atento, Joe!
Ruben. And it will be free kick to African Stars. And as you said, Edison, that Petro de Luanda might introduce more experience in the second half. Men that they've introduced in the left back position, Gilberto, former Orlando Pirates in South Africa. Well experienced 24-year-old can play also as a wing back, and a left wing. So it's another experience in terms that has brought on for De Luanda. Nisa Hera from Mchwaneng. Should be a corner. I understand the complaints from their goalies there.
It's probably gonna be more a case of game management for Pedro more than anything. They're normally very good at that. You expect them to close shop. And of course, on transitions and moment out wide, I think that's where most of their danger is coming from. And here is good evidence of that. The goalkeeper already inviting the African Stars striker to come and press him, because he's not going to release that ball just willy-nilly.
Most definitely. But a good touch from Panda there.
African Stars making a number of subs themselves, 5 to be exact. And it looks like they're going to be introducing youthful exuberance, legs and speed in the likes of Shiveta.
A lot of changes from African Stars. Edmund Kambanda among those. Also Owen Damasep also have been introduced for African Stars. Yeah, a lot of changes will comprehend as the game continues.
Yeah, and I think next going to be operating next to Stiga in the place of Mogudi would be Vevanga Pimbwende, a young former UNAM FC player who a lot of supporters are really eager to see in the right of African Stars.
Owen Damasep already looking for Kamatuka. And it will be
corta, línea pasa y salta, que no pueden jugar aquí. Dale, 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 dale. Mira, esa es buena.
Kambanda into touch. The African Stars coach Bob Mavaso, also from Lesotho, and would have loved to go play Diodi in the final. Team from his country. So is Malane, also from Lesotho.
Looks like with the changes that have been made, Shiveta will operate more in the central forward position, as we see that from Dosep, or rather the substitute.
Now is Doro to take. Free kick is a lovely one, on the money, well defended by African Stars, and they will get relief because they will get a free kick now.
It's been a difficult reintroduction back into the African Stars for Chulu Kamatuka.
Arriba! Juntos!
There's a big clearance now, the bicycle, but out of play. Petro de Luanda won the league with 8 points ahead of Willete, who came second. Willete also will participate in the CAF Champions League preliminaries. So 2 teams from Angola, Petro de Luanda and Willete. African Stars won their league with 4 points difference between them and the second team on the log. African Stars won 7 titles. Independence have won their 3rd consecutive, and if there is a record they need to, it's a good ball. If there is a record they need to break, is winning 4 consecutive league titles, something that was only achieved by Black Africa. Back-to-back 4 titles. African Stars need to win another one to equal that Black Africa record. But on 3 consecutive titles is African Stars, Black Africa and Civics. Namibian teams that have won the league back-to-back 3 times.
I think in terms of domestically, African Stars will take some beating. They really cruise very comfortably in the domestic league.
Judging by the personnel they have recruited here, it will be very difficult for the rest of the teams to try and take the perch here.
Interesting with the substitutes that have been made. Coach of African Stars has opted to keep Stiga Kashiere on and replace him for Mogudi, or rather replace Mogudi instead of Kashiere. Mogudi looked the more leggy one, but he's gone with the experience of Kashiere to try and marshal the young Vivanga Pimbwende, who will be operating next to him in the lieutenant position.
And if you read the scoreline now, is African Stars 0 and Petro de Luanda 1 goal. And Edison, I want to bring you in here. Willie Stefanes won the Golden Boot 3 seasons ago. 20 goals for African Stars. 23-24 season, Willie Stefanes 16 goals, top goal scorer for African Stars. Last season it was Bakonja. Oh, it's a chance here from Owen Damasep. Well defended. We'll come back to the goal scoring chart of African Stars throughout the seasons. Kashiere, Damasep now, Kamatuka. It's a waste. I was saying back-to-back Willie Stefanes scoring 20 and 16 goals, and last season Bakonja Chahikika scoring 15 goals, top goal scorer in the league as well as in African Stars. That's the problem that we are seeing now. They have released most of their goal scorers and they're finding it difficult to get goals.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, Chester. It will definitely be very difficult because we saw time and again African Stars didn't necessarily need to play good, but the quality that they possessed in the likes of Willie Stefanes could pull them through. And you'll think that perhaps this time around the goals will need to be shared amongst the team rather than come from an individual source. Sometimes that also works.
Most definitely. Mbira.
He's really looked off color, Charles Hambira, more than anybody else in that central defensive positions for African Stars.
Lovely.
Appears to be a little bit more life to the game since the introduction of the substitutes that you can expect, obviously, because a number of young legs have come onto the fold. And we saw earlier there a ball from Vivanga Pimbwende trying to feed Damasep. Great defensive work from the defense and goalkeeping department of Petro de Luanda. That's the man that scored the goal. He's gonna have a good night's rest. Will feel pretty chuffed about that performance.
A free kick, and it's Doro to deliver. Jonathan Doro again. Doro goes far post. Well defended. Very good header there, and African Stars give away a corner kick.
You just wonder, I think the defense looked at Kasetura to say, please help us in the ball floating in the air like that. Kasetura thought about it, but remained on his line.
Corner kick now. Doro to takes, he's taking everything. Dead ball situations for Petro de Luanda. Another lovely one. Headed away. Have all the time in the world. Jackson to clear and find his man. And now it's another good ball in the box. Garuka with a defensive header, and African Stars will get the free kick.
And that's a sub now. Gasep, I think, is going to come on for Eliakim Jackson. Again, it's more legs, more direct. You would think it's the thinking from African Stars. That means that Chulu and Damasep will operate now centrally as the strikers for African Stars. And it's more a 4-2-4 formation now for African Stars.
Free kick will go to Petro de Luanda, and it's that man for me. He's done pretty well, Toro. Jonathan, man on the ball.
Dentro Lidio!
Taken. Here is Toro again.
He's really put a foot wrong in this game so far. He's been a lesson in midfield efficiency. Simple, kept things simple, kept things straightforward, no complications whatsoever.
And now headed away by Kambanda. That's dangerous. He's the man that has just been introduced, Gilberto.
You can understand why the referee would have gone to his book there. That did look a little bit naughty from Gilberto. Perhaps just asserting his dominance here and welcoming the young men. They are going to be facing each other for the remainder of the game. And there you have it. The legendary Okatherandu supporters. Yes, this team, African Stars, barely plays and he's not there.
They need to give him a goal to celebrate, something to go home with at the moment. African Star supporters, nothing to celebrate.
Lídio, olha o jogo, Lídio! Vá, Thiago! Vá!
Lovely 1-2, Kambanda and Siveta. A lovely 1-2, and now Kamatuka nothing works out for African Stars. Back to Garuka, back to Kasetura, Ambira. Kambanda, Siveta, and Ruben clears the African Stars movements. African Stars not done with the changes again. Still introducing, having everyone get a test of the match.
Introduction of Rikambura Munjwa for Stiga Keshiere. I think Rikambura Munjwa was probably the informed player going into the back end of last season. Really took to the midfield brilliantly for African Stars. Came out of his shell.
Wende, who tries a shot there, couldn't beat the big fast defender.
Still not carving out any opportunities just as yet. African Stars. Petro de Luanda will not be bothered about the output of African Stars so far. That is disappointing.
Very much disappointing.
Right the line and called offside. He's questioning the linesman who's just under his nose there.
There's 1-2, well defended by Stars. Now, Owen Damasep couldn't really connect with Shiveta. It will be a throw-in for Da Costa. Another goal will definitely put De Luanda in the final against Diodi. African Stars want to be there. They want to be in the final.
There's still some good minutes to go. The one thing they're not doing enough, you need to be able to create chances for you to be able to score, and they're not creating anything from open play so far, African Stars.
Lovely from Bwende. Damasep. Shiveta. Wende was intending, tried to orchestrate things in the middle of the park, but Chipley handed the ball to De Luanda.
Identify!
And it's put. Now it's a chance here for now Shiveta. Out of play, it will be a throw-in for De Luanda. The throw-in, it is Gilberto who will get the throw-in, the former Orlando Pirates left back. Throw-in, big clearance. And Gilberto have to do it again. another change, and it's Aparicio will be the man, jersey number 10. Aparicio is the man that will be introduced for Petro de Luanda.
Yeah, I think Jairo is quietly gone about his business, but you can see the talent is just 16 years of old. I mean, 16 years old. But I mean, he's a name that you can expect you're going to hear as the seasons and the years go by. Do take note of the name Jairo, the young man from Angola.
Very much so. The man that have been introduced is a Portuguese footballer. That is Aparicio, playing his trades in Angola. Long one header from Gilberto backwards, and African Stars will hurry up with the throw-in, trying to get something out of the game, but they're really hardly creating chances. Kasetura. Kambanda. That's a lovely one. Can African Stars, and it's a lovely ball straight into the hands of Hugo.
It's much better, even though perhaps you would want a much bigger frame other than Damasep in there. Sure, they won't mind that type, defending that type of balls, Petro de Luanda. But that is something at least that they did good African Stars in terms of approach play.
Eddie looking now. Bwende back to Ngaruka. Start twisted and turning. Really struggling to create. And that's a good pace there. Well kept in play. Will be an African Stars free kick on the other end of the pitch.
I think that will allow the big boys in the form of Charles Hambira and Kambanda, the likes of Ngaruka, to go in there. So we see that good legs there from Chiveta to rescue that ball, and he's made much of it. He's won his team just out of sheer desire, a free kick in a good position here.
Can they rescue this game? African Stars, they are at home here against the Angolan champions, the Namibian champions, trailing this one. It's a poor free kick.
Yeah, Rikambura really letting his team down and teammates down on that occasion. That is Rikambura Munjwa.
And now, can they come up with something from open play? A lovely one. Chiveta. There's a clearance that turns into a very good pass for De Luanda. Kambanda had to get a touch of somehow there, and throw-in will be Eddie's, and Petro de Luanda.
Rica, ski. Ronaldo. All right. Bukta, no way in. Rica.
Oh, it's a lovely one here, and a vital touch. It will be a corner kick from vital touch from Edmund Kambanda.
That was quite key. You get the feeling they'll be comfortable and happy with the 1-all. With the 1-0 so far, Petro de Luanda. But if they do get, I think, that second goal, that will just allow them to relax even more.
Toro with a delivery, another good one, but a header going over the bar, miscalculated there from Vidino. The big midfielder couldn't really keep his head down, otherwise could have doubled their scores. But the delivery of the set pieces from Toro. Another corner kick. African Stars wants to be the ones taking corner kicks, looking for a goal, not defending them.
Absolutely. With just a little over 10 minutes to go, they really need to start carving chances and maybe throw caution to the wind. Release the kitchen sink, as they say, to the Angolan team, Petro de Luanda.
It's a lovely one, and then Casetura comes out, and African Stars win a free kick here. I think Edison, with 10 minutes to go, I will be safely to say it's a no-brainer as to who the player of the match might be.
I know who you're gonna say.
Jersey number 8, middle of the park, Jonathan Toro.
I think it would be very difficult to make a case against that, Chester. It's really been easy on the eye, dictating matters. Like I said, it's been a good lesson in efficiency and simplicity in the middle of the park. And there, you see Rikambura Munja trying to complicate matters.
Yes, Shiveta. A lovely 1-2 now. African Stars can... Oh, that could have gone anyway. But lucky enough, Hugo was alert. Eddie now for Luanda. It's taken under the nose of the defender. A quick in, Eddie. It's a lovely 1-2. And then it's a race. Position given away. Here's Sorosep now. Ronaldo Sorosep. Back. Lovely 1-2, but intercepted by Gilberto. Gilberto again. African Stars struggling to put it passes together. Now, Wende. All the way back to we are talking about Mukudi being marshaled and trained to take over Ronald Takeshire's position, but Wende will put his head up there also to fight for that position.
Absolutely, Chester, because I don't think he will have come from UNAM, where he was a starter, to thinking that he's going to come to African Stars to just bench. Of course, he's somebody who always wanted will have wanted to wear the African Stars journey. I mean, Jesse having grown up in the Academy of African Stars at under 15 level, that is Bevanga Pimbwende through to the under 17 and then the under 19s, and that's when the academy was sort of dismantled for a while there.
That was ambitious from Jomo Shiveta, went over the bar. last season impact player Jomo Chiveta for African Stars to come and give impetus into the game.
I think one thing has been very clear so far for African Stars, and that's that if they are going to go into Africa, you just have a feeling they might still need to reinforce their team, need some new reinforcements, and none more so than in those central attacking areas like especially a big number 9 that'll give you what Joe gave Petro de Luanda today in terms of physicality and a goal. Very difficult to find. I don't think we have that currently locally, so cross-border for that.
Kambanda. Damasep. Well defended by Kinito. Ball is out, but look like the defender Kinito. Owen Damasep getting into the referee's crime book.
African Stars well hope young Damasep would have gotten some good experience on his loan spell away last season. It's a player who they believe, in whose ability they believe in. That's why they loaned him out rather than completely part ways with him. So just a little bit overboard there in terms of enthusiasm from the young lad.
Segunda bola, Aparicio! Segunda bola, Aparicio! Chega, Ruben, chega!
Right away, here is Eddie back into the mix, but Kasetura, no time to waste. Kasetura wants to find Sorosep. Good take from Sorosep. Keep possession for African Stars. Garuka, lovely play. Can they turn defense into attack? Garuka and Hambira get that one under control, but Garuka couldn't find his men. And here is Toro, and now Ferreira, and now is a chance here, but Garuka with the clearance. Hambira. It is De Luanda now knocking on African Stars' door. And play on as Aparicio looking for a decision there from the referee, Gilberto.
Look up, play!
Kahingunga with that clearance. All the way back to the goalkeeper. African Stars really struggling to get create chances. Hugo never tested in the second half, and he will not be tested now because position cheaply given away. Clarence. Here's Buende. Can they put passes together? Can they put defenders? Here is Owen Damasep now, and he's off.
Yeah, it's been very difficult for African Stars to find openings, especially from the middle of the park. You see the defender Kambanda there trying to play a looped ball over the defense of Petro de Luanda, and in so doing bypassing his midfield. That has been the order of the day, rather than chances being crafted from midfield, which is normally what you would expect. But much of that, as much as it is not good for the eye from an African Stars point of view, much of that comes down to how this Petro de Luanda team is really set up. They've been brilliant at absorbing the pressure and just making sure that African Stars are playing in the zones that are non-dangerous and where Petro de Luanda want them to play, non-threatening zones.
Very much so. Edmund Kambanda, the latest player to get caution by the referee, and that's why.
Yeah, you can understand why the referee would have given him a booking there. It's just the momentum from Kambanda came into the opposition.
Panda, the victim, is up and running, so he is good to go. And another delivery from Jonathan Toro. African Stars to defend again. 1 minute. And we'll understand there will be another 5 minutes for Petro to try and get a second one for African Star to try and rescue this game and push it to penalty shootout. And there you go, confirmation of the remaining 5 minutes for the host to try and get something for their supporters and force this game to penalties.
Vita Pingaruka has now joined the strike force and now is a member of the African Stars attackings, and here he is trying to win the header. He does that.
Tamasep couldn't find Sorosep.
It's the same in the official match.
It's a free kick to African Stars. A quick one. Can they deliver? They have 3 in the African Stars. Cuts back inside and it's a corner kick. Oh, it touched the African Stars.
You know
it's
what?
Not a corner kick, it will be a goal kick.
It was actually good play from the winger. At least he beat his marker and then tried to put the ball in, even though they didn't yield much fruits. But much better, is it a little too late perhaps? Unfortunately also the ball ricocheted off him last, so no corner in that event.
And there's your player of the match going off, Toro, and Maya will get a chance to play here.
Yeah, this just becomes a matter of game management now, as it always has been since they've scored. Petro de Luanda, really professional performance from them. Didn't give African Stars anything to sniff at.
It's a long one, and well defended. Oh, it's under pressure. First time there, the Luanda. Need to push men forward, African Stars. Njua try to cut back inside. Nothing there, and now it's the Luanda pushing forward. And now they have numbers here. Race all the way back to Gilberto. And they are restarting things from the back now. Vidino, long one. It's a lovely one here for the Luanda Kene. The referee says fair enough. Goal kick to African Stars. 2 minutes remaining for Okatherandu to try and rescue this one. They need to push numbers up front. Can win the header. Out of play. African Stars will hurry to get the throw in. Panda. Gilberto. That will be yellow card again.
And that is that allows Petro de Luanda to breathe, as you get to see that again, chasing back and then tangle of the legs there. I'm sure this free kick will not be taken before the 5 minutes are up. And there's a whole almost 1 minute to go.
Ronaldo Sorosep with the last man to be cautioned. And the referee will be happy that this game is coming to an end, because otherwise he might run out of yellow cards. And that's a good delivery. Nobody touches it, and that's the only reason why that did not go in. Just seconds remaining now. And it's a free kick. It's offside.
Vita Pingaruka, since
I think that's about it.
Since he went up, has won a couple of headers, but unfortunately they have not yielded anything really. I think we can well agree that should be the last kick of the game.
Should be. Referee have a look on his watch. A yellow card.
Don't forget, tomorrow we are on again. The games tomorrow are starting.
It's a yellow card, I think.
Don't forget, this is pre-season tournament. If your favorite player didn't play today, he might play tomorrow. And we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Midfield.
Know exactly what he was doing there. The keeper he was happy to take that card.
Now, African Star Panda try to get around, and it's a corner kick to Petro de Luanda, and this should be the last kick of the game.
They have no interest in taking this corner at all. Petro de Luanda slowly working up, changing the kickers as we see that skill there.
And that's the end of the game. It is Petro Atletico de Luanda that will meet Dioti in the final. It is Angola up against Lesotho in the final of this pre-season competition. African Stars have lost, and they will have to fight for the third place. Edison, your views of the game?
I think you can see that it really is a pre-season tournament. A lot of fitness levels not up to standard, especially for African Stars. Normally this time of the year the Angolan League is underway, but for African Stars this is a first for them. They'll take the lessons here. Professional performance from Petro de Luanda. Since they scored the goal, they absorbed the early pressure. African Stars, I think we called that they had started the game very well. They needed to absorb that pressure, and once they did, the quality that they possess, Petro de Luanda, and the pedigree that they have, really managed the game very, very well. And I think some lessons here for African Stars, and perhaps more so in terms of the personnel that they need more than anything else. We know that next weekend is still a game for them. They're going to be playing Chula Chula in the World Cup. The World Cup fundraiser event. But I think overall what's important for them is to try and get the fitness level up to a standard where they will be able to compete.
That's it for the First day of the pre-season tournament. Will be back tomorrow with the third place and the final at the Independent Stadium. From me, Chester Wamunika and Edison Muhewa. For now, it's cheers until next time.
Disappointing results there is from the Stars. What went wrong in your view?
No, look, it's preparation like the tournament is for, and I think this is the team that we wanted to play. We wanted to play one of the highest ranked teams in the tournament, and it was Pedro, which is a team that we wanted to. We had to be where we are. We need to know how far we are with our pre-season, and I think we had a very good 35 minutes, first 35 minutes, and then physically I think we dropped a bit, and then when we dropped in terms of physically, then we couldn't manage the space as well, and then conceded. I think we conceded closer to the half-time, which is something that should never happen. That is something that we need to work on. Otherwise, we were able to give almost everyone an opportunity to play, and then still kept our identity, tried to keep the ball. Yes, in the attacking third, we didn't do enough, which is what we have been working on, and we know that it's an area that we need to improve. But otherwise, overall, I'm happy. I'm happy with our performance.
All right. So tomorrow you face AS Maniema. Just what is your approach in the encounter?
No. It's just to keep, like we said, it's preparation. We are working on our structure. We are working on our identity. How can we score, playing the way we want to play? We're still going to play like that tomorrow. Yes, we want to win, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we are ready for whatever it is that we are preparing for.
All right, let's talk about the new signings now. What is your assessment on their performance today?
Yeah, they did very well. Like I said, the first real competitive match, and like I said, I mean, this is a club that always plays the group stages of the CAF Champions League, and this was the best test that we could ever have. We'll try again tomorrow. Do play like we want to play. They're different. Tomorrow's team is a bit physical. This one was more technical, and I mean, it will be a good test for us. It's going to be a good run. Disappointed that we lost, of course, but we know that we did very well. It's just a few things that we need to work on and then play better next time.
Thank you, Coach. All right, so Coach, congratulations. Just talk to us about what particularly helped your team win this encounter against African Stars today.
Yeah, very difficult match, no, against African Stars. Also, the field, it's very difficult to play in these conditions, but our team fight a lot. In some moments, we play more or less good football, but very difficult to play here because the intensity of the opponent was very high. They play at home, and also with the field, impossible to make more than 2-3 passes. But important to compete for us. For me, my first match in Africa. Now I know how is the condition, so difficult, but happy for the team, for the players, because I think they deserve the result.
So, Coach, we did see that African Stars had dominated possession in the first half. What was the turning point for your team to see that you guys do have that key advantage against them?
No, they play at home. We know they know the conditions of the field, and also we know that it's normal. Also with his fans, it's normal. But we have in the last 15 minutes on the first half, we can score the second goal, and we play really good the last 15 minutes. It's true that we enter into the match in low intensity. You need to improve in this kind of game. So in the second time, we control more or less the game, but we know that in this field, any set pieces, any long ball can be dangerous. Okay, can score one team, another team, but finally we are in the final.
Tomorrow you do face that is Dioli FC. Just what is your approach looking at how they performed today as well?
Improve from today. The only way I think that The thing that condition more the match is the field, not the opponent, because finally it will be the same match. I don't think that one team will do 600 or 500 passes during the match. Impossible. So good match to work the long ball, the second ball, the disputes, and the finalization. We have to be very effective in the finalization because we will have not too much, so we need to be very effective.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much.
Back to Coach. Stalile. Attention.
Taking on Petro de Luanda at tomorrow's final encounter. And let's talk about that. You know, Stars' performance today, not quite impressive.
Unexpectedly, with the number of departures, especially at the offensive side of it. The players like Awilo Stefanos and Chai Kika and the like that, you know, in terms of your offensive play, were the guys who could make the opportunities and bring those chances to score goals. You could see there was a solid defense still, because those are the players who were still there. With Stiga still sitting in at the pivot, at least in the positions defensively, Stars look good, but they must improve going forward.
Let's talk about that first goal from Petro de Luanda. Miscommunication from the defense of Stars. Just how unprofessional was that?
Sure. If you think about your penalty box and there's no one, the guy reminds me about Mbulula with the dreadlocks who scored. I mean, it's a dangerous play. It's a striker, but to be that clear of no one defending him, that was not expected from Stars.
We do know what went wrong with African Stars. What particularly went right for Petro de Luanda in this match?
Well, they've got one of the best defensive or pivots that I've ever seen in real life, other than maybe Stiga them in his prime. Doro was excellent, sat there, cool, calm and collected, did everything right, the simplicity of play that he did. Activating the other players, and that's what you really need. You need that is a spine of any football game. Defensively solid, in the middle solid, and then you create chances, because you don't concede a lot with a defensive setup like that.
I mean, we do know that African Stars have new signings, but they also lost the finals. Was that void felt looking at how they performed today?
Definitely. You could see that Lawrence Dwysep in the first half, he made chances. He had some solid touches there. Other than that, there was just no fluidity. There was no cohesion. With Edmar Kamatuka also getting on the ball, you had expected him to take control of the ball in the offensive side and create the chances. But that experience that African Stars lost through Awilo, through Chai Kika, who's also just coming through, but has that experience, you could feel that, you could see that there is no cohesion. But to the coach's point, it is pre-season. It is an opportunity for you to see where you go wrong and where you can put it right. So, yeah, I hope this tournament starts to cover the gap.
So tomorrow we are going to see the final between DODFC and Petro de Luanda. Just what are you expecting from that one?
I think Petro de Luanda would just be too strong for DOD, because on the basis of what we saw today, DOD was out of sorts really against a strong team of Manyema. I think Petro de Luanda is actually the team. Think about it, even nationally, Angola would have been the one here to be looked out for. And I think there's something really good. I'd like to see actually the pitches of Angola, because to the coach's point, this pitch wasn't that good, but it doesn't look bad for me. So maybe they are playing on world-class stadiums in Angola.
Well, thank you so much, Fulton, for today. We will be catching up tomorrow, that is for the final and the third place playoffs. But look, man, tomorrow we'll be back right here, and that is AC Maniema taking on African Stars. And in the finals, we do have Petro de Luanda taking on Diodi FC. Man, for me, myself, Victorine Karonda, and my analyst, Milton ASAP, it's good night.